Guys,
Well, sorry.
let me finish my sentence. I mean, my goodness gracious, guys. Unless teams are, what the end of the sentence is going to be, unless teams are validating your preseason worries. Lakers, worried you weren't going to have enough shooting. Turns out they have no shooting. That's not a new worry. So maybe I should have said, you guys wouldn't have jumped so quick if I would have said it's too early for new worries.
Sure.
So oddly, I'm a touch more confident in the Sixers. Here's why. I think I'm going to be able to convince at least you.
All right.
Brew is too burnt today from Jimmy G and then the Nets and everything. He's going to come out firing. Here was my real question and my trepidation about the Sixers pick. What if Harden never gets back to being anything close to what he was? And he has. Now, will he be able to maintain it? I don't know. But he looks like pre-injury Harden. And what pre-injury Harden will allow, I believe, Brew, is Joel Embiid for the first time in his career to get to the postseason, not worn the hell out, and see that version of Joel Embiid. Maxey hasn't been great. I think he'll play better. He's actually playing more minutes and taking more shots slightly. His efficiency's just down. I think that'll fix itself. And when I picked the Sixers, I said, I do think because of the Tobias contract and Tybal, they have a move to make later in the season. All of those things are still in play. The big question mark to me was, is Harden going to be hamstring Harden, which is a different player? He's not. So I'm more confident because of that. And I think you might agree with me a little bit.
No.
A little bit.
Not at all. First of all, thank you,
Wildes,
Wildes, for bringing up this topic. Because I have had to listen after, I think, every Nets loss.
Well,
Nick has come on here and yelled and screamed about how horrible they are. Yeah. Meanwhile, Philadelphia, his pick, is losing to the Spurs.
Well, that was over the weekend.
Who aren't even trying to win, okay? They want Big Vic. They don't want to beat Philadelphia.
Tell that to Popovich.
But yet, somehow, they beat his Eastern Conference champion. Nick, here's the thing. What you need is Harden with the Nets when he first got there. Point guard Harden.
I agree.
Doing his thing, getting everybody involved. What you're getting is Houston Harden.
I agree with that.
530 dribbles a game or something like that. And that's why Tyrese Maxey's not shooting well, because he's out of rhythm. Because you're sitting there watching Harden do his thing and shake it and bake and all that and take a three. All right?
I think you still got
it. And Joel.
Bro, I think you might be right.
And Embiid. Now, look, I'll give Embiid starting to get it going the last couple of games, but I'm going to give your guys some advice. What Harden, they need early Nets Harden.
100%
24 and 10.
Yep.
I need Maxey and Tobias between 17 and 20 points a game.
Tobias, anything he gets a bonus, but go ahead.
He's your fourth guy. He's a great fourth guy.
Sure.
And then you need Embiid leading the way.
All
right, but their depth isn't what it used to be. Or their
I like
defense.
the depth a lot.
Or the defense.
So listen, I don't want to talk about the Nets or the Sixers' 7th and 8th men, but I actually think they're outside of Boston the deepest team in the East. I do. I mean, I don't know who you're.
I guess that's why you picked them.
I don't know who else.
I think the Nets are deeper.
Okay. Well, that's a wild commentary, but that's
Patty
neither here nor
Mills,
there. I think Royce O'Neal gets more love on this show than on the Royce O'Neal podcast.
I just named a lot of dudes. Nick Claxton. Nick is ball.
Okay, he's their starting center.
16 and 9.
Okay, hold on. Let me just say this real quick because I agree with Brew Wildes about the way Harden needs to play. My point is, if we now know he physically can. But going into the year, we did not know physically what he was going to look like. Brew joked about it, and he was right. It was like the worst hamstring injury in the history of hamstring. It was a 2-year hamstring injury. So if he is physically capable, then it's just about a stylistic adjustment, which we have seen him make at one point in his career. It was brief. It was in that first year with the Nets, but we have seen him do it.
And then he wants to play the entire time, too. I don't think everything is physical.
That's my main concern with Harden, Nick, is the playoffs.
Well, yeah, of course, with Embiid too.
We've seen it time after time after time, year after year after year, And for their defense, I got to throw this at you because last year they were 12th in the league defensively. Year before that, they were 2nd.
Yeah, this year
before
they've
that,
been
they're
terrible.
8th. They're 20th now.
No, they have to be
Tybalt's
better.
not getting it much time.
Yep.
They lost Ben Simmons, who for all your ripping was a very good defender
Well, they didn't
for
have
them.
Ben Simmons last year when their defense was
Yeah,
good.
I mean, but still, they defensively, and Harden is not obviously a defender. So that's another concern.
Can I raise my
So
one?
they're in just as much trouble as the Nets.
I
Can we
disagree.
say it?
Nope.
Can we?
No,
Can,
they're not.
No.
Really?
No, they're not.
No, they're not.
No.
But go ahead.
So, my one issue with Harden, I know I addressed it earlier in the show, but it's been running rampant on social media, and it just the buck stops here. I got a little sign on my desk upstairs.
Wildes, I'm not
talking
sure
about your guy,
if
Russ.
after your performance during the Pats game, you should be giving anyone Twitter advice today.
How dare you?
You were.
How
I'm
dare
just
you?
telling you. I just don't know. You'll come across the table. Sorry. Go ahead.
Let's get to Nick's other
Okay,
team.
Nick's other favorite
I
team,
don't have
the Los
teams,
Angeles Lakers. Magic Johnson stopped by Club Shay the other day and gave some advice to Russell Westbrook. Take a listen.
Okay. That's number one. Okay. If I don't play well, say I don't play well. That's what Russell got to do.
Right.
Quit trying to fight the media, quit trying to fight the fans, and just say, you know what? I didn't play well, but I'm going to play better.
Right.
And go out there on the court and perform.
Right.
That's how you stop all the things that's going on. But you can't do it by trying to combat them.
Right.
And trying to be mad at the fans or at the media because the media got a job.
Bro?
Well, Magic's absolutely right. All right. But what Russ has to realize, beyond what Magic said, which is great advice, he has got to understand that his individual legacy is set as far as positive, right? He's a Hall of Famer.
I don't know.
He's a Hall of Famer. He's top 75 officially, all that. All right, that's set. What only thing he can do to help himself is win a championship. And even if he's a role player, if he wins a championship, it helps him.
Right, it helped Dwight.
Right.
Helped
what
Dwight.
Russ has to do, because Nick, Russ is giving him good energy. He's hustling and giving defensive intensity. He's passing the ball okay at times. Like, what he's not doing is shooting the ball.
He's not going to do it. Guys, at some point,
I agree.
yeah, at some point, I don't want to blame Russ for being Russ. I understand ideally he would evolve. And we have seen great players who are no longer great players evolve, and we've seen it result in championships for them. The famous example is, of course, Jason Kidd. Couldn't shoot a lick, was the best player on a two-time finalist, changed his game, and then all of a sudden, all he does is shoot on the offensive end in addition to pass the ball, play solid defense, and is an important piece of one of the most surprising champions ever. We mentioned Dwight. Carmelo at least gave it more than an honest effort. Didn't result in a championship, but was excellent with the Blazers, was one of the only non-disappointing Lakers last year. We've seen it happen. He's not going to do it. And God love him, but that is why it is not his fault. It is his fault.
He is who he is.
But they knew it. You knew that going in. And so for the fact that he is still here is an indictment on the guy who just got the contract extension, Rob Pelinka. Because everyone, this is the second year in a row where a media that agrees on nothing, all agreed on one thing. Well, that ain't going to work. And then we saw it not work. And then they had a whole offseason and they ran it back. And everyone's like, well, that's still not going to work. And you didn't add shooting. And the fact that everyone saw it coming down the tracks means, and I say what I said yesterday, they are clearly holding on to him only because they think there is a better trade that will be available at some point because teams are going to turn the ship in the tanking direction. It's a risky gamble. And even if that trade comes, Wildes, if the Lakers are 6-11 when it comes, it could be too late. Okay. And so
So why is Darvin Ham starting him? Well, why can't Darvin Ham? It's a new regime. We just went through this all with Frank Vogel. We read Frank Vogel lost the team, and Russ said, we're not going to do that. Frank Vogel didn't even though he won a championship, he lost the team. Darvin Ham comes in, tried to put him on the bench in a preseason game. Now you see him making wild decisions out there. Why doesn't Darvin Ham say, you know what? It's going to be 22 minutes a game.
I thought the decision to start Russ at the beginning of the season was right because you would lose him, just like we talked about Mac Jones. You would lose him if you didn't. I'd still give him. I don't know that you can start him and Beverly next to each other.
You don't say.
I mean, maybe you bench Beverly for the time being.
Why don't you bench Russ? I don't understand.
But eventually you may have to.
Eventually, you haven't won a game.
He may make.
Yeah, but that's again on Pelinka, that he built a backcourt of Russ and Beverly. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.